Hello, everyone. My name is Jackson Whitley, product consultant with HelixIntel. Today, I'm going to run you through an overview of the HelixIntel platform. So right off the bat, when we log in here to our dashboard, we'll give you a few different options to check out: number of properties that are managed, total number of pieces of equipment that are managed, and also pending work requests. So we can easily click into each one of those three boxes there to jump right to what we're looking at. So today we'll start with our work requests, and I can even click over here on my left nav to jump right to that. And this will show me pending work requests, things that have been put in that require maintenance, but have not been yet approved. So I can easily jump into those to review what our requester has put in here for us to maintain. But to start a brand new work order, I'm going to hit this new button up here, and I'm simply going to enter the work request title, explain that in my description box here, and then fill out a couple more details that are involved with this work order. So let's say we're replacing a road sign today. Maybe we have a damaged stop sign on one of our streets. I'm going to go ahead and enter this in. And then I can fill out some more details here that goes into this. So a better description for our team involved to know exactly what's going on here. All right, description is in. Of course, I can write as much as I want to there, but for today's sake, we'll leave that example as is. The rest of our optional details down here really detail what exactly we need to find later on in these work orders for reports. For instance, like a location. Was this road sign at one of our main roads that we have of a location? Is there a property or building that we want to have set here as a location? That's going to be a valuable field for us to check back later whenever we have to pull reports and showcase, how exactly, how much work we're doing at certain areas versus other areas, if we need to really take a look at that deeper to see if we are understaffed or overstaffed in certain areas of our town or village. Our requested completion date gives us an option to put in, exactly what it means. Requested completion date. When do we want this to be done? Maybe we want this sign to be done by this weekend because we're expecting some heavy traffic. Or later on, maybe we can move this out farther in advance because we have to order new signs. It's not expected to be shipped into us for a matter of weeks. But again, it's a great example of a field that we can utilize to keep everybody up to date, because once I transition over to our calendar view, we'll be able to see exactly where that work order sits on our work calendars. Now, our work order categories are very unique also because it allows us to pull in another field that'll dictate this report for whenever we need it later on. So if we do have road maintenance or maybe some general vehicle maintenance, grounds and landscaping, building upkeep, whatever the case may be, we can help populate different categories here so everybody knows exactly where to find our specific work orders. And once I switch over to our work manager view, we'll be able to find exactly that via our filtering system. So for today, I'm just going to select other. We also give a priority section here, determining what the level of priority is for this exact work order. For a road sign, this may be just a normal priority for us, but we can also select urgent, high, or low, depending on the case here of what exactly we're working on. Again, another option that we can use for our filters and reports later on to find exactly, what is urgent to us versus what is our normal and low priority, basically everyday maintenance items. Last little bit here, and one of my favorite parts is our attachments feature. So this allows us to upload any sort of attachment that we need to this work order, i.e. a picture of this damaged road sign that we may have took. Anything else that involves this work order here that we need to classify as an attachment, we certainly can. That way, everybody involved will be able to view what exactly is going on here, through a physical picture. So we'll submit this request, and that's going to sit here in our pending work request option. This has not been picked up yet or approved to be worked on, so we can do that right now. And once I click on this work order, it's going to open me up to a editable page where I can go in and make customizations to everything that I just input or whatever our requester had input for this maintenance item. Like I mentioned before, if we need to change that due date because we're not expecting this new road sign to be replaced or replacement to come in for another week, I can go ahead and alter that date, make any adjustments to any of the fields here that we need, or maybe bullet point these or place them in a numerical value if I have a longer list of items that need to be taken place. Now, to notify the appropriate party who's going to be working on this actual task, I can manually assign those via this assigned icon at the top left. So if I click that, I can easily search a user that will be associated with this work order. And that will also trigger a series of notifications. So we can set up email notifications that will go to our users. They'll get a link directly in that email. Or we can also set up text message notifications. If we have their cell phone numbers, we can send text messages out to all the users involved with this work order. That way, everybody is not left in the dark, and we can have proper communication on making sure our maintenance items are solved. So let's go ahead and approve this work request. Now, since I'm logged in as an admin, it's going to take me directly to this work order. If I'm not responsible for working on this, I can just click out and go on about my day. But if I need to jump in and alter anything or maybe create a checklist of what needs to happen for this, I can go ahead and create my own little to-do list here directly on this work order to make sure that everybody involved will know exactly what needs to happen. And just like before with the assignment of this entire work order to a user, we can actually individually assign those checklist items to make sure the proper folks are notified of what exactly they need to cover. And as you'll see over here, the history box will continuously populate with every bit of information that has been input on this work order. Time and date stamps will always stick with these work orders, and every little bit of update or communication will also log itself here. If we need to make comments and communicate with other department members about this particular work order, I can simply @ them and type in their name to be able to find them, and then give them a little chat. That will also prompt another notification to go to Jake here, and he will get that email or text message letting him know that he has a new comment on a work order that he's involved in. Now, one other very important piece that HelixIntel offers is this time tracking tool that allows us to input the exact time it takes us to complete and finish a maintenance item or a work order here. We give you two options to click a set timer that will run until we either complete or stop this timer here. Or we can set a manual timer if we want to go in after the fact and showcase, hey, this took us 2 hours to complete. And I can go ahead and add that time here to make sure that we are good to go. And very important for checking later on to see how much time we're spending on certain areas of our maintenance. If we're continuously getting held up on certain issues versus other areas, maybe we can take that to our team to notify folks we may need to hire another person or two. So a very valuable tool to showcase where exactly we're spending most of our time during our work weeks. All right, once this work order is complete, we can go ahead and hit the completed status. We also have the ability to customize statuses based off the customer's needs. So anything that we offer out of the box will sit here and be available to select upon, but folks can also set up their own custom statuses to really notate how exactly they're tracking their work orders. For this case, we'll hit completed. And last little bit here, it actually gives me a warning to let me know, hey, I actually didn't complete those checklist items I've created. Maybe I did in the working process, but I just forgot to go back and complete and check those off. So I can go ahead and click here, make sure they're taken care of, and I can write any last comments that I need to so everybody involved will know I'm kind of the final person here on this work order. Now, where do our work orders go once they have been completed? They simply move over to our work manager group. And we can set up multiple different work manager groups Think of these as customized reports for where our work orders sit. And you'll see these different title categories here, or groups rather, that are totally customizable to the customer's needs. So we can set up road maintenance as a great example, vehicle maintenance, general maintenance, whatever the case may be. We can hit this new button up top here, select new group, and simply enter our title, give a description, and pick a nice color that we want to have for that titled work group. Now, this will allow us to bucket all those work orders in our specific areas. So if I need to filter and find work orders that were completed in the past, or if I'm looking for something very specific, I know exactly where to go to find those. Another way I can find my work orders is through our filtering method here. If I click our filters button, I can simply select the category that we input before when we were submitting this work order. Any other category that we have previously filled out for a work order will show up here for us. Any equipment involved, priority levels that we selected, status, etc. So you have plenty of options here to find the exact report that you want and really showcase that in a matter of seconds. Now, one of my next favorite features is our calendar view. So all of our work orders that are set on our time and dates for our work week here will show up in our calendar view. So I can easily check and see what I have due for the rest of my work week, what I have next week, if I have stuff due in November, December, whatever the case may be here. I can view everything that pops up for my work week right on my calendar view. And all of our work orders are clickable. So if I actually click into that road sign work order that we just submitted a few minutes ago, it'll take me right to there, and I can view any completed work that was done without having to sift through all those reports. It's going to be sitting there waiting to go right for me. So let's jump over to properties next. HelixIntel gives you the option to manage as many properties as you need. And in this case today, I have more of an office park set up, so I have a few different buildings to take a look at. But if I jump to this company headquarters building, it gives me a full overview of the entire building summary, construction type, foundation type, stories, number of buildings, rooms, what our roofing system looks like, who is providing our utilities. It's a very helpful field so we can track all in a singular area without having paper copies or files laying around everywhere. And everybody can jump to HelixIntel to find what we're looking for. The other cool part is if a customer's needs expand greater than what we have to offer out of the box, we can simply add custom fields here to any property or piece of equipment that we want. So custom fields are very valuable and extremely flexible to add whatever the department is looking for to track. You'll see under the picture profile of this company headquarters building, we have a few different tabulated options here to check on everything else involving more than just the info about this property. Active work items will show any work order that is still in the ready status. So this has not been completed yet. It is ready to be worked on. And this is another great area for me to find specific reports based off those properties. Completed work items will show us everything in the completed status with the completion date next to each one of those. So again, if I need to jump to a specific report for stuff that we did last week or the week before, or maybe earlier this week, I can find exactly what I'm looking for here. Preventative maintenance schedules is a very awesome, unique tool that we do have. I will jump back to this in just a moment since we do have its own section over here on the left nav. And our equipment. What are the total number of pieces of equipment that are linked to this particular property? Now, a lot of highway departments will have their vehicle garages or vehicle barns that we can track all of their vehicles at. So this is a great way to see everything that we have linked to this one property. We do offer a parts and supplies section. This allows us to keep all of our parts and supplies on hand with a set number that we want versus our target amount. A great example here is this parts kit that I have in my headquarter bin. I have a target amount of 3. So I want to keep 3 of those parts on hand, but currently we're at 2. So I get this low inventory warning to let me know that we are low on stock and I need to go ahead and order more to make sure our target amount is on hand. And finally, our attachments tab. This is a great option, just much like our work order page, where we can upload pictures of different issues that we have. But the attachments piece here allows us to keep track of utility bills or insurance documents or manuals and blueprints or bills and invoices. Anything that we can think of that we want to keep as an attachment here, we can simply upload to this one section here and keep those forever with this property. Now let's jump over to equipment. So much like the properties dashboard, we give you a full equipment profile dashboard on every piece of equipment that we want to manage. This can be AC units, boilers, chillers. I have a skid steer and work van here. We have those backup road signs that we want to keep, fire extinguishers, you name it. Any piece of equipment that we want to track, we can keep right here in the equipment dashboard of HelixIntel. So let's jump down to our work van. And again, much like the property profile, we'll give you a nice picture to manage and a full basic information tab here first. So for this particular example with this work van, I have a manufacturer and model that I need, serial number. I can look up at an instant whenever I need to. And then scrolling down, we give you plenty of other details here, specifically for this vehicle, VIN number field, license plate, odometer, tire size, engine oil type. Stuff that our teams will most likely know off the top of their heads. But if we have new folks coming in here, we need to train them on what exactly it is that we're managing, and they can jump to HelixIntel to find all those fields at the click of a button. Again, active work items will show any work orders that are in the ready status. Completed work items, you get that same tab here, just like the properties. Parts, attachments, maintenance and warranty information. And one unique field that we offer with the equipment profiles is a service log. So a lot of our customers like using this for third-party work or outside contractor work that is not done internally. So if we have a contractor that comes in and does performs work on our vehicles, we can log their service here to showcase what exactly they've done, the cost of that service, who did it, and the date they did it at. This is another great area to keep track of those work items that were done, not so much internally, but maybe for third parties that come in, and we give you an area to make sure all that is logged. Preventative maintenance tasks, or schedules rather. Fantastic feature to help notify us of scheduled items that need maintenance done at particular intervals. We have a few different examples here, like oil changes, trash hauls, and fire extinguisher inspections, you name it. Everything that we may need to notify us at a certain time and date, we can build here with a pre-built work order ready to go. I'm going to click on my oil change field here. It's going to give me a brief overview of what this PM schedule entails. We have our template ready to go, which is our pre-built work order with all the details we need to perform this vehicle oil change, who's responsible for this, and of course our schedule down below here. So at the top, when we edit this PM schedule, we can scroll down after some details here and take a look at the schedule options that we offer. We have daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly options to set up different intervals of maintenance that need to be performed. Oil changes, like in this example, probably not needed to be involved, more than once every couple months. So we can set this up here to make sure we run maybe a specific weekday or a numerical value on the repetition of the schedule. I have this one running on January 1st of every year, but if I want to set up another one and maybe select June on the 5th, I can go ahead and do that to make sure I'm notified on those exact days. One other really cool feature here of the PM schedules is the dates option. This schedule will start as soon as we tell it to, but it can also run in perpetuity or maybe end at a certain time and date that we want it to. If I want something to run just until the end of the calendar year, I can select that date, and that way this PM schedule will stop and run no more until I tell it to again. Another really unique feature here is the ability to create those work orders involved with the schedule X number of days before the due date. A good example of this is an fire extinguisher inspection or some sort of inspection of importance. A lot of times we'll see teams that get super busy. There's an emergency that pops up and they can't get to that scheduled item on that exact day. So in this case, we can actually have the work order created off of this schedule 3 days before our actual due date. That will create the work order for us, showcase on our calendar view, and then notify the appropriate party if we want to go ahead and get that work completed and get it off of our plate before things get too busy. Another really unique feature there that ties into this entire PM schedule tool. That is a brief overview of HelixIntel. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.